Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to all our participants. My name is Mona Al-Arfaj. I'm from Harmony House, Kuwait Meditation Center. We are very happy to have our brother Marcelo Balk today with us in a very interesting topic, the art of self-management. I just want to say that this program has been organized by Bahrain Meditation Center and Kuwait Meditation Center, and it's part of our Saturday seminars. So hope all of you will enjoy the seminar today. I think there's a lot nowadays to manage outside in the world, but the key which I think today our brother will highlight is the self management, because if we don't manage ourselves, we can't manage whatever is happening around us, especially in the challenging, sensitive times that we are going through and the whole world is going through. And so just a small introduction about Marcelo. Actually, his CV is very rich, but I'll try to minimize it. Brother Marcelo is actually the national coordinator of the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center in Colombia. He's originally from Brazil. And he started his personal transformation journey 37 years ago, which is a very long time. He's actually a coach, consultant, and an author in human development with a self-leadership focus. He's a consultant for corporate corporations in Mexico, in India, in Colombia, and he's also an author of books. I think one of them is The Legacy of Love, and the other is also Pathway to Self-Management. I'm assuming he is writing his books in Spanish, but I'm sure they're also translated. So we're really looking forward to hear from you, Brother Marcelo. I just want to say that there is an Arabic Zoom for those who need Arabic translation. And Sister Awatif from Bahrain is translating into Arabic. I think, Marcelo, this is the first time we have you in the Middle East. And so we really have the pleasure and we're very honored to have you with us today. Thank you very much for giving us this time. And we'll be having some questions and answers at the end. So keep your difficult questions for Marcelo. Thank you. Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you, everyone, especially the Center of Bahrain and also Aruna, who was the one who invited me. I love the Middle East by being brought up in Brazil. I used to be surrounded by the Middle East culture somewhere here and there. So it's always nice. I have been already in Dubai a little bit and Abu Dhabi too. So I hope everything's okay with you there. We know that these times are a little strange, very, very, very strange. So I hope you are taking care of yourselves, and I hope you are also helping others to take care of themselves. Particularly, one thing that has emerged during this pandemic is solidarity and how to help. Okay, I would like to know which countries are you from? If you can just put in the chat, that would be nice. I hope it's okay. At least I know a little bit which countries are there. If someone besides Bahrain and Kuwait are there, of course. Dubai, okay, that's great. That's great. Kuwait, that's wonderful. So we are going to talk about self-management. Egypt, Lithuania, oh, that's great. So self-management is something interesting, and it's something I have worked or I have started to work properly in terms of my personal development and also in my work with companies about 20 years ago. Okay, because that was the time someone had the idea that something is not right and we really need to understand how to manage the self. And so that's what we are going to talk today. And to talk today, I was thinking, what type of analogy can I use for you? Morocco, okay, hablas español, that's good. Jordan. So I was thinking about what analogy I was using to you. And I'm going to use an analogy, a metaphor, that's probably nothing to do with your reality. Saudi Arabia, good. It's nothing to do with your reality, not even mine, but it's so useful and so good. So I'm going to use that, which is, you're going to see now. Oh, okay. So, so you're going to work on icebergs. So the art of self-management is the idea behind is that while things take place in the surface of our lives, much more is happening under the surface, deep down. Why? Why this idea, this iceberg? Because icebergs, they are a piece of ice, and if you have 1 cube of ice and you just put in a glass of water, you know that the ice will float. And if you realize the measurement, normally part of the ice will be up, part will be down. Depends on the salinity of water and all these other aspects. It will be half-half, or in the case of the ocean, most of the ice will be under the water, just a little tip up. And it's very interesting. You know, Canada, the Air Force, they have this mission. They map all the icebergs, so in this way, they can send a message, and so boats, ships, they avoid the clash. But what about us as human beings? What's the iceberg there? What does that mean? And that's extremely important in terms of self-management, because most initiatives in terms of managing life only happens above and not down. However, most of our lives are more are deep down. The surface is just a little bit. I mean, you can see my face, you know my name, but you don't even see my treasures. You don't see my chair. You don't see much of the place where I am. You know, there is sun there, so I should say good evening to you, but it's kind of strange because it's still day for me. So you can see few things, but you don't see what's there, what's in the door. I can have someone here just sitting beside me, and you don't see. So whatever you see is just a square, just a rectangle there, just a piece of my life. And it's not only a piece, it's not even that. I speak 3 languages. I'm just speaking one language. And the attitude is different, the energy is different. Everything is so different than what I'm giving you. There are much, much more that you don't see. And that's the idea or behind the iceberg. Much more is happening under the surface, deep down. So, um, a simple personal management. So, a simple personal management. So, I'm supposing that you people are very good. I'm supposing that you are clever, you are intelligent, you are maybe professionals, you are people who have a very good CV, you have very good families, maybe you have a very good house. You have things that really makes you quite worthy. Okay, that's one thing. So you are a manager. You can be a manager of a company, a school. You can be manager of your family, even of your circle of friends. So you manage parties and way out. And, well, now with the pandemic, things are a little short, but you can manage everything. So I'm supposing that you are a manager somehow. Okay, maybe you don't have the title, maybe you don't have the salary, but you are a manager. So with that idea in mind, what I want to share is this. A simple personal management is that people deal with situations. Situations are hard facts, are things that you can see, touch, smell. You can really hear. You can see the financial effect. You can see the people, like in the terms of the COVID-19, so many people didn't believe because they couldn't see the reality, and slowly, gradually, in many places like here in my country, people are seeing the reality. Most everybody I know, they know someone who has been affected by that sickness. So most of our management is dealing with hard facts, but as I said before, the iceberg is just the tip of the iceberg. So most of the time, managers, we are dealing just to what is visible there. And we are forgetting, ignoring, leaving for some time later, or you want to hire a consultant or a coach to deal with that, with the things that you don't see, things that are invisible. Okay. And that's a big mistake, very huge mistake, because wherever you see, you deal with that and you become a good manager, good boss. That's great. Okay. But what's behind it? If you don't realize what's going on behind it, that can affect your life, that can affect the company, that can affect your family and everything. And there are so many examples. I could take one example from the pandemic, but we can look a little behind so we don't talk much about it, right? And what we can see is, for instance, a good manager, and they are selling things, they are selling some products, okay? Let's say dairy products. So the selling is based on the neighborhood where they sell or how they sell, if they sell via internet or via telephone, whatever. So that we generate the the product and the shop. So this is the shop and this is how I do. So I can foresee how much I'm going to sell next month and the other months, etc. I can foresee that January is not a good month because everybody's out, or I can foresee that on Fridays people won't come here. So I can realize that on the basis on facts. Those are hard facts. But there are things that I don't see. And something is happening inside. And these are soft facts. These are facts that I'm not realizing. For instance, many people are becoming vegan. So they are leaving aside milk. That's not affecting my business yet. It's very few people, but it's very few people every month that stop shopping in my shop. So I don't realize, I don't see it. Or there are news that milk is not good for health because there are some bacteria there, something like that. So those news, oh, they affect me, and those I can see. But what I can't see is the fear behind. What I can't see is people willing to improve their lives by becoming vegan. So these things I don't see. And if you take a look into very big, successful people, you realize that they had some kind of knack, some kind of intuition, aha, about the things they didn't see. And yet, they are there. And they are extremely important. Again, look at this example of Zoom. You just see a square of my life, a rectangle of my life. And in fact, this place where I am is much, much bigger than this square. much bigger, and you don't see it. You don't see your air. Air is invisible, but you need a lot of air. You need to breathe a lot. So, why I'm saying this is just to make us realize that the hard facts is only about 10%, maybe 20. Most of the soft facts, those things that influence really the situation, is 80 or 90%. Another way of dealing, if you are an expert with icebergs and this kind of thing of the ocean, etc., is that the hard facts, it's like the wind. So the wind is doing some pressure on the ice block to move it. But down below there are currents. And because down below most of the mass is there, the currents, they have much more power than the wind. So it's easy for the currents to take the ice away. So let's give an example, small example. When things were shifting from post office, okay, from mail, physical mail, letters. Do you remember? Do you remember when people used to send letters, okay, to email? So there were many years, this was a very long process, in fact, until one day the companies, oh my God, people are not posting anymore. They are not posting as much as before. And those companies that depend on the letters, they suffered a lot. And it was a long process. They could take advantage. They could realize, well, we can offer other things. We can offer a special thing, I don't know, a milkshake when they send a letter for us. I don't know. We can do something so that we don't lose the customers. But most companies, at least those post letters, they suffered a lot when one day people are not posting letters anymore. Some companies, they reinvent themselves. They start to focus more on packages, because packets you still can't send via email or via Zoom. That's the dream of many, but you can't. So in the same way, there are hard facts and there are soft facts. So now, what about you? So I would like if you have a piece of paper, and if you don't have, you can have a piece of paper in your mind, or you can open a word processor or whatever, PowerPoint. And I would like you to draw an iceberg. You don't need to draw very beautifully, just something there. You can put the sea level, so you remember when we talk about icebergs, we are talking that most of the ice is up, very little, sorry, most of the ice is down, very little is up. Okay? So I want you to do a drawing just like these or similar. Or you can even cheat and you can just go and copy one image and paste it and just do it. And I want to ask you three questions. First question is, what are the facts you are dealing right now? What are the facts that you are dealing right now? So which are those things that they are in the tip of her mind, the top of her mind? You are here with me, you are listening to whatever I'm saying, but you are still thinking about that situation you have to solve. Or most probably, you are listening to me and you are just there, doing your stuff in another gadget. So that's the first question. What are the hard facts that you are facing now? They can be good, they can be bad, doesn't matter. Just the hard facts. So just one or two. Second question. What are the soft facts behind those? The effect that you don't see, you don't feel physically, but you feel there is something there. There is an intuition, an idea, or someone has taught you something valuable. And that thing that the person taught you, uh, through that, you can realize, well, this is happening. For instance, there is fear, there is love, there is joy. So, what are the soft facts behind those? And the third, the funny thing is, the sea is also water. So you have the ice, which is one type of water, and you have the ocean, which is another type of water. Okay, so there is a line, and that line probably you won't be able to respond right now. But I want you to realize what's the line that split the hard from the soft. I will give the example about a dairy shop. Okay, so they're selling milk there. Okay, so the hidden facts they don't see is people are becoming vegan. There are some bacteria in the milk, etc. So, but there is a line in there. The line is, well, they base themselves on money. They base themselves on the number of people that come to the shop. So they base it in statistics. So this is the line. That's the basis that makes things hard or soft. So maybe you base your life in how many houses you have, how many cars, or maybe how many days you meet friends, or how many friends you have. And with that base, you say these are the visible things and that's the invisible. You don't need to respond now, but that's a very important question for some point you think about. Okay? Okay, so these are the three questions. The hard is soft about your life, and also what's the divisor there? What's the point that divided? So in normal circumstances, there are three main things that help us to deal with those circumstances, whether they are good or bad, positive or negative. Our skills, first thing is skills, intelligence, wealth, health, relationship with others, everything that you count with. The second is that we are part of a community, we cooperate with each other, we know we are part of a network, family, etc., and that helps us. And the third is that we are under a government, community, society, so there is some assistance that's coming there. So if you talk about the pandemic, that I don't want to talk much, but anyway, it's there, so you can see this circumstance. We first of all we relied on our own skills, intelligence, etc., to overcome the effects of the pandemic. Second thing, we had a network, and then that network cooperate with us. And the third, the governments they are doing things. They are trying to help people. Okay, so, for instance, I am a business consultant. That's my profession. In fact, I'm an independent business consultant. That means I am eternally unemployed. So I don't have proper employment. So, of course, when pandemic came, my jobs just I had a very good job, excellent, with a big multinational, wonderful, and they just cut out. I just talked with the manager yesterday, and she was saying, "Oh, yeah, it's a pity that we couldn't do our process with you, etc." So I just lost it. But I have a big network, so I next week I'm starting with another multinational, a very good job. So that helps a lot. And the government, they are giving very clear directions, at least here in Colombia. So I know when I can go out, I know what I can do, etc. So this is the normal circumstance that we face, or even not so normal, okay, like the pandemic. So we always rely that. That's a good manager, and you are a good manager. So you do that normally. However, however, things happen, and the process for that is this: a situation emerges. So whenever something emerges in front of you, what you do is basically five things. You assess it, you decide upon it, you solve it, you learn. and hopefully you teach. So you share with other people whatever you do. These are the 5 steps of any manager, any good manager. Even an extraordinary manager will use these 5 steps. Below that sea level, you have something different, but they are like a mirror. My inner resources emerge. So whenever a situation emerges, internally other things come up too. So if the door here opens and a lion comes, so my inner resources come up and they try to help me to flee from the lion there. Okay. So in the same way, any situation that emerge in your life, maybe you have some problems to make certain decisions because they are tough, they are very difficult. Maybe you have problems in terms of financial health. Maybe you have a problem in terms of yourself, your personality. So in all these circumstances, you assess, you decide, you solve, you learn, and hopefully you teach. But then what's happening inside is a little different, but it's like a mirror. So, first of all, you change your awareness. Oh, this situation is now here. So, I start to be aware of other things. I start to use my own qualities, virtues, values, or even inner powers, like the power to decide or the power to discern. I change my attitude. My emotions come up, and then my thoughts. So these are the 10 things that happen when any situation emerges for a leader. So it's very easy. You assess, decide, solve, learn, and teach. And there behind the curtain, you change your awareness, some qualities emerge, you change your attitude, some emotions come up, and you think. I hope that's clear. So these are the normal situations. So remember the sheet you did with the iceberg there? Remember that I asked you 3 questions. So we're going to work in those 2 first questions, which are the hard facts of your life and the soft facts of your life. I want you to try to understand, especially the bottom part. So I would like to ask you, if you just write there, when you face that situation, well, you are facing right now, but when you are really dealing with that situation, what's your awareness? What's in your consciousness? In other words, who are you really at that moment? Maybe you are a mother, maybe you are a boss, maybe you are an economist. So, what are you really? Different circumstances, different awareness. Okay? Second thing is think about those qualities you have, or inner powers. They are there in you. People tell you, oh, you're so patient. Oh, God, you are so wonderful. So these are the qualities that you can use to help you to face those situations, to solve them. So think about those qualities that are important for that situation specifically. Just pinpoint one, just choose one, and just work on that one. Third thing, what's your attitude? Someone was defining attitude one day. It's like a template for the mind to think of things. For instance, I'm Capricorn. So I was born, in fact, this month I just had my birthday. And as a Capricorn, I am naturally pessimistic. Now I am a realist, so I'm very realist. I'm not. I don't fall into illusions, and dreams, and just seeing butterflies on the air. No, I'm not that. You know, I remember going to the country field with my mother, and we used to reach there. My mother used to enjoy so much. I used to look around and say, "Okay, I saw it. Let's go." And so that's my template, little bit. So everything in my life comes into that template. I have to solve that situation. So okay, I have to solve it. Okay, let me solve it. So I don't get into illusions, etc., because that's the attitude. So, but I have different types of attitude. I like poem. I like to be more sensitive. I am very sensitive into many things. So I have different attitude, and you too. So what's the best attitude of yours to face that situation, to solve it? Maybe it's an optimistic one, maybe it's a courageous one, strong one. What's the best attitude? And last thing is emotions and thoughts. I'm going to join both of them. So which type of emotions can heal you? Because most of the situations that cause some harm to us, they harm maybe not the body, but they harm inside the heart, the mind. And there are some emotions like forgiveness that act like a healing power. So think about the emotions and the thoughts that can help you to heal and to keep on going, keep on moving. I hope that's clear. I hope it's okay. If you have any doubt about this little workshop, little exercise, I'm helping you to do it. So please just write in the chat. Okay? Hope it's okay. So again, you just pick the sheet there and you just choose one situation, the soft facts you're working with, and just ask yourself, who are you when you are facing that? Which are the qualities that can help you? What's your attitude that can help you? And which emotions and thoughts can heal whatever is need to be healed? Okay, fine. These questions will show up again in a different format, so you'll see them again. Okay.
Oh my god! I love her. Yes! Okay, hold on. He's so yeah.
So anyone felt that you were there in the ocean there? Well, um, there are three paradigms that are attacking us at this moment. Crisis. The paradigm of crisis is not bad, really. It's not. In fact, in Chinese, in Mandarin, they write crisis in two characters, and one character means a possibility, something good, an opportunity. The other character means nothing really, but it's similar to a word that means danger. Or is the opposite? Yeah, it's the opposite. So crisis means you are in danger, but you have an opportunity to. You can change. One of the people in my Facebook, she was a consultant, etc. So she just decided to cook, and so she was cooking and cooking and cooking. And that was the way she earned her livelihood. So she took the advantage of the crisis to change it into an opportunity, and that's excellent. The problem is when crisis comes with the other two paradigms, and that's the case I just showed you in the video. So boat crashing into an iceberg with people shouting, someone shaking the camera, and the wind and everything. It's a mess. So the first thing is uncertainty. What did happen to those people there? I don't know. Uncertainty. What's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. Remember when I was talking about the dairy shop, the milk shop, okay? So the person could foresee and calculate or estimate, okay? So we are going to sell this, and next month we are going to sell that much. But with uncertainty, you can't do much. You really can't. The present uncertainty is being formed, is being kind of built up for many, many years now. If you go to 2016, you are going to find very good articles on the certainty of that moment. And it's coming, it's building up, building up, building up. And I think the extreme was what happened in the United States, what's happening in many countries in my continent with the effect of the virus, the immigration. In Colombia, we have about 2 million Venezuelans. They don't have a place to live. They live on the streets, many of them, unfortunately. And then it's a big uncertainty, and nobody knows what to do. Really, nobody knows. One very special teacher of meditation, she was telling many people, and to myself also, she told the same thing. She said, I don't know what will happen. And that's a reality. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And there is a type of uncertainty that is good, it's not bad. You know, when you're walking, think about yourself walking. When you lift your foot, it's uncertain. You are in this balance. If at that moment a earthquake comes, if at that moment someone pushes you, you may fall much easier because you just have one foot on the ground. But that's the type of uncertainty. I call it a certain uncertainty. Because, come on, there won't be an earthquake now. And there is nobody around, so nobody's going to push me. So it's the uncertainty of the milk shop. Okay, I calculate I'm going to sell 100 liters next month, and I sell just 90 liters. But that's okay. I mean, there is a margin of error. The problem of us, the uncertainty that we are living now, it's a different, total different paradigm. It's a paradigm that nobody can say for sure what's going to happen. And no one is prepared to that. No one. People are just confused. People are depressed. People are not well. And because of that, because the uncertainty is total, it's like a big shadow covering everything. So there is a sun, and the sun is there somewhere, but you can't see it. And the worst part is crisis, uncertainty, and the disruption. Why the disruption? Colombia, for instance, the country where I live, was very good. Things were going very well. Economically, things were good. We just signed a treaty of peace, ending part of the civil war. It's still there, unfortunately. And wow, things were very good, very good. And then all of a sudden, cut. Oh, and I felt like in a bad B movie where you have to face things that you were not facing before. It's like I went back like 30 years ago, really, in many aspects of my life, except my age, unfortunately. It would be good. The age also would go back 30 years ago. But in terms of crisis, problems, it's like 30 years ago. I'm a Latin American. So I've been living in crisis since I was born. That's the reality. So this disruption is very harmful because not only you are uncertain, but the disruption is there. So you're going to go, and there is an earthquake, but worse, a tsunami also comes. Or worse than that, all of a sudden there is no floor there for you to step on. So these three that I try to show in the video a little bit, they are the ones we have to work out. And management, personal management, it doesn't matter how good a manager you are not prepared for that. You are not prepared for this ship. So the base of self-management is I am. And I am three things. I am the master of the self and of my life. People, they can help my life, they can cause problems for my life, but I am the master. The one who has chosen the community to which I belong on the base of values. So I don't live what I live because there is no other way. I chose. It's a conscious choice. And the last thing is the one who has chosen this form of living on the base of principles of benevolence. Because I know, I'm sure that whatever I'm doing and the community I'm living, this is good. People are good. And that's the base of a very good self manager. I am. Because particularly when these three things, the crisis, uncertainty, and the disruption, when they grow and grow, they become chaos. And in chaos, there is nothing that can help you except yourself. No good leaders, nothing. There's a very good example of the World Trade Center. When the World Trade Center went down, I was touched by that. And somehow next year I was there in New York. And so there was an article, a very good article. And the article was collecting many experiences of people who survived that fact. And one of the experiences was a young woman, and she was there in her office, and all of a sudden she was down. When she come up, she just fainted. When she wake up, she saw the wing of a plane in the office. I mean, there is no more disruption than that. Okay, and she didn't know what to do, and she looked at other friends. They were working, they were other co-workers. Nobody knew what to do until one person comes. He was wearing just clothes in his mouth, which now is extremely common, but at that time was very strange because of the smoke and all. And he just shouted to them, leave, go, run away. And they stood up and they left. That person was not their boss. They don't even know who he was. Nothing. And he didn't give his orders from a basis, oh, I'm a manager, so I have a whiteboard here or a calculator there or computer there, and the computer is telling us, let's go. No, he was just acting from inside. Because in chaos, you don't have anything else. So until we reach the chaos point, we have a time, still we have time to prepare ourselves and be very good managers of the self. And the basis again is I am the master of the self. I chose my community and I chose my lifestyle. And on the basis of this, what happens? Situations will still emerge a lot, and you have to assess, decide, solve, learn, and hopefully again teach. Please share. Share your solutions. But there is something different here. I make my inner resources emerge. So normally a manager reacts. That's one of the main differences with a leader. Leaders don't react. They shouldn't, at least. So managers, they do react. They are paid to react. Okay, so something happens, so they react. Oh, the milk is over. So they go there, they go to the cow and they start to take milk. I mean, they go and react. That's reaction. Okay. But when I am self-manager, when I'm really managing my own self, it's not like that. I don't react. I make the resources I need to emerge. So I'm going to give you again questions. Now you forget about that sheet, you respond because these are simple situations, or maybe they are complex, but they are not still critical, I hope. If they are critical, you can use them. And now you're going to just answer those questions according to a crisis, according to a big problem, a big situation. Because these are the situations that shake your world. You know, the world is shaken because of those situations. Colombia is in an area of earthquakes. And these past 2 or 3 weeks, all the time I was shaking, all the time. You know, I lived in Chile, in Santiago, and that was there all the time. But here it's not common. And all the time is happening. So it shakes, yeah. But if you have everything firm, everything is okay. If you know your emergency protocols, if you know how things work, so it's okay. You can move on. You can be successful still. So I'm going to ask those questions, and I want you to just go inside your own self. Just realize your own inner resources, everything good that's there within, and ask those questions to yourself. A very simple question: who am I? Who is this manager? Who is this person who is facing all of this? Who is this person who is so rich, so wealthy? Because internally, there are so many things there, so good. Who am I? Just respond whatever comes to your mind. Which values, qualities, or inner powers are important now, at this moment I'm living? Which are those things that are so important in life? And just pick the first answer that comes to your mind. Just write them down or just keep in your mind. What's the right attitude for this moment? Courage, positivity, optimism. What's the right attitude? Maybe someone told you be more patient. So these are probably patience is one value that you have to come up. And also it's an attitude in relation to life. Which feelings emerge from my heart? Not emotions. Just think about feelings, about the depth of yourself coming. Love, peace, forgiveness, and all those feelings that comes with forgiveness. Hope. Hope is a very powerful motivator nowadays. So all these qualities, they make feelings to emerge. If you have hope, you will feel joyful, you feel bright, shining. And the last question is, what do I think that may impact the situations? So in terms of thoughts, which thoughts do I have that will impact the situations? So I'm thinking a lot about this, about that. So how will those thoughts create an impact? And that's it. So if you do this process with yourself, if you face any situation and besides of assessing, deciding, solving, learning and teaching, you also start to command your inner resources to emerge. You start to just think deeply. Who am I? Start always with that question. Who am I? You can add really, and then just move on with that. Okay? I hope it's clear. I'm supposed to stop now so you can ask questions. I don't know who is there, Mona or
Hello. Hello,
El.
Marcelo. Thank you so much. Very lovely to hear all these deep points. I think,
Shukran. Shukran.
shukran. We actually have a pull to come to South America. So hopefully after the pandemic,
Oh, yeah, please
like
come. It's a
South
very,
American music and dance and another culture. Yeah.
in fact, the north of Colombia has lots of Arab influence. And
Lebanese. I think there's a lot of Lebanese there.
I used to work with companies there, and I
Mm.
remember I used to watch Arab television. I don't understand one word really. I think shukram and salam alaikum. That's it. That's all my Arab. And I used to love to hear the voice and the ideas. I
Mm.
remember one person was talking about he used to go to the mosque, and one day he realized that the people around him, they have their skin was very harsh,
Mm.
their skin, and he started to think why. And then he realized, oh, maybe these are people who are working very hard in their lives, and he felt so much respect for those people. I used to love that. So
Mm.
whenever you come, please tell me.
Okay, so what I understand, Marcelo, that if you can conduct like 10 minutes meditation, and then we will have the questions. Is it okay like this?
Yeah, no problem, no
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
Okay. So I want, okay, I'm going to help you to have a meditation experience. You are going to meditate. I'm not going to meditate for you. Okay. So you are the ones who are going to meditate. So first of all, relax yourself. Okay. That's the first thing. So you have to adapt your body a little bit. Relax doesn't mean like this, because that's not relaxing, really. That means you are tired. It's different. Relaxation means that you just let go. Maybe you have lots of trouble. Maybe you have so many things to solve. I have, so I know what it is. So just let go. Let go. You will work with that later. Don't worry. You come to that later. So tell yourself you're going to talk about that. You're going to think about that later. But right now, just let it go. Just relax yourself. Just enjoy this moment, this energy. I am. I am light. I am peace. I am so loveful, so patient. I have so much courage. I am so perseverant. Think about your qualities, the best of yourself. I am. And let me feel light. The the air comes into my body and leaves my body, and I feel I am very light, I'm very soft and subtle. I am. And I feel there are so many people in my life. So I send them peace, love, joy. I touch their hearts and I help them to remember the best of themselves. It's like I am in a necklace and I'm a jewel, a pearl. And everyone in my life, relatives, co-workers, neighbors, everyone I know, friends, they are all part of this necklace and they all shine. Because when one pearl shines, all of the others also, they do the same. I am. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to Mother Earth for the air, the water, fire. I'm so grateful for everyone, for all they are doing. I'm so grateful for their smiles, their shining eyes, their words. And I give them my gratitude. Its own quality I have, and I am its manager. So I'm going to use now. I want everyone to feel my gratitude, which will help them to heal, to improve, to move on. And I see the whole planet, and I am part of this planet. So for some moments, I will go into deep silence, and I will send this planet everything, the best that I am, the best I have. All I am. Just a light, just a point of light, like a star looking at Earth, and just send that good energy in silence. And then when I am up here, very far from my life, the normal life, I just realize how good I am. I'm a very good manager of my life. But from now on, I will manage from a different perspective, that I am the self. I'm not reacting, I'm acting, thinking, reflecting, changing from inside. And then I know I will change the outside, my environment, my reality. I am the manager of myself. I choose, I decide my life. And so I make the decision to come back. I breathe deeply. I move my hands, my body, my eyes. Slowly, I'm back here.
Thank you. So I will read a few questions. One of them is, what are the qualities or strengths that are important now to me? Maybe in reference, I think, with the question of who am I?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't understand fully the question, so I hope my answer satisfies that. Um, the idea is we have so many strengths and so many virtues, values, qualities, whatever name you want to give them. But everything's for a certain moment. We have an example that if you are in a situation that you have to be patient, but instead of being patient, you are perseverant and you try to push for the solution. Even so, that's also good, is a strength. It won't be considered like that because this moment is for patience. You can't do anything, so you have to be patient. A patient person is always watering the plant, watering the tree that will come one day. But there is a point that you are just watering the plant. You are not doing anything. A perseverant person is when the fruit is there. Then I like dates. Dates is from Middle East, and as
Yeah.
far as I know, is a big tree, right? Something big. So
Palm tree, very tall, yes.
very tall. So if you have to get the dates, you have to be perseverant. You cannot be patient and wait for the dates to come to you. It won't come. So patience, it's one moment, perseverance is another. And in this way, this is why it's important to reflect because I can have many good qualities, but those qualities, they are being used in the wrong moment, in the wrong situation, with the wrong people. So if I shift and I use other qualities, that will create much more effect. I hope it's okay.
Yes, 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 nice. Okay, and then, okay, I will read this one. I am a fan of South American culture as well. And my question, have you tried? Have you ever tried? I think it's called ayahuasca tea. If yes, can you please share your experience with us? I don't know what kind of tea is that. Do you know that? It's
Oh,
AY.
no, yeah, no. Well, I don't have a good perception of that. I know one person who, well, who was destroyed by that thing. So look,
Okay.
there are many, many things that are used in the culture. So, for instance, the indigenous people from the Amazon, they use that. They have a certain environment for that, and they don't use it just like that. They use it for a ritual. They want something to be solved. So it's very different when people just go there and use it just like
Mm,
it. There is not
mm,
the same feeling, there is not the same energy, you know.
mm,
I'll give an example from myself. My grandmother, she was Spanish, and so she used to cook soup every single day in her life. Oh my God, I can't take soup anymore. Really, I can't. Okay, it's kind of a trauma. I don't know. I really don't like soup. Okay, so in this way, if you use things in a different context, because the culture, the energy, they have a context. If you use things in a different context, well, there are lots of people who like soup, but
mm,
it's not the same. The energy is not the same. Okay.
mm,
So instead of using that, I would suggest you to use meditation
mm,
as something that helps your mind to get some clarity, because that's the idea of the other thing. And if you need,
you're
if
not dependent on it as well. You don't
yeah, and
depend.
also yeah, meditation does not make you dependent on that. And the second thing, do some physical exercise. So
Mm.
both things will help you almost in the same way as that thing. Okay.
Okay. And then there was another question, I think, when you were asking the questions, the last five questions, which are very, very precise and very nice to ask about ourselves. That question was, what are the characters that distinguish me? What are my tendencies in this position? Um, I'm assuming it's close to the question that you just answered, right?
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, I just gave you five questions. You could give you like 30 questions, but
Yeah.
there is a tendency that people, they don't focus much anymore.
Mm, mm,
United States, they calculate that a person watches a program. The average is 30 seconds, only
mm,
30 seconds,
mm,
and they shift to another program, and then they shift to another one, another thing. And the same thing, it's their lives in supermarkets, wives and husbands, they are shifting everything every time, everywhere. And
mm.
most of the world that I know is a bit like that. So I just gave you three questions. But yes, this one is very nice for you to use. What are the tendencies? What are the things that help you to clarify your life? You are your own manager. Okay,
Mm.
so you go deep there, and probably many more questions will emerge.
Okay, maybe I can ask one question that I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah, yeah,
through
sure, sure.
also very challenging times with pandemics in the company. And sometimes you feel like you say things out of goodness, but somehow you are misunderstood from other people who maybe are not clear about the self-management journey.
Mm.
Um, how do you deal with people who have, for example, anger or some internal
Yeah.
issues,
Well, there are
stress?
different ways to deal with that, with anger, for instance. Um, I think the main thing is you have to have some type of not intuition, but some time of, you have to be in tune with the other person,
Mm,
so you can understand what is this person needing at this moment. Some
mm,
people, they are angry at you because you did something bad to them. Other people, they are angry. That's it. They are angry.
mm,
And you are there. So you are perfect. You are the perfect target. So according to the person, the situation, so you have to see how to solve that, how to really talk to them.
Mm.
I have seen in my life many very bad examples of dealing with people with anger. But I remember one very nice example, very good, one of the most beautiful ones. And we had a collective meditation. It was much before the pandemic, so no worries. There was a collective meditation, lots of people, about 100 people there. But then there was someone outside, a homeless man, young man. He had a knife, and so he was threatening people and asking for money. So one couple, they were very dear to me, they are dear to me. So they came to our house for meditation. And the wife came in, and the husband said, "Just give me a second." And we closed the door. After a while, the ring belled, and the husband came with the homeless person. So the homeless person couldn't sit inside because it was totally full, but he sat around there and he enjoyed the meditation. And the
Mm.
man was just beside him. After a while, we gave them some food, so that person also received food. And after that, the man, the big man, my friend, took him out. And so I asked, what was that? How did he do? He said, I just talked to him. Nobody talks to him. So I just went and talked to him. And he was an expert. I mean, he was a social worker, no? And so I invited him to come inside in exchange for some food. He gave me his knife. I gave him back the knife because I know you need, and that was it. And that was a very good example on how to deal with people with anger. Just be in tune with the person,
Mm.
be in tune with yourself. Don't harm yourself, really, don't. But be in tune with the person and yourself, and something will emerge, some solution. You know,
Mm.
there are so much anger. You know, in this country I am, we just had so many protests. How do you say in English? People shouting in the
Yes.
streets, and
Yeah.
riots, lots of riots.
Yes. Yes.
Chile, Chile is probably the most peaceful country in our whole continent, and yet they had such a heavy riots, and people were so angry. I
Mm.
lived there. I mean, I still don't can't imagine how it happened, because the anger is bottling up, and people,
Mm.
they don't see where they are going to just to give and to, I don't know, to ventilate that. So the
Mm.
anger is a lot. So
Mm.
I tell you, probably most of the situations people are angry, they are probably not angry at you and
Mm.
not at what you said. They are angry.
Mm.
So just think they are in fact hungry, and
Mm.
give them some food. The
Mm.
food of love, the food of peace. Maybe you
Mm.
can't say anything, but just give them food. So change one letter there and just become from angry just hungry.
Maybe sometimes, like you shared, maybe sometimes we just need to listen to them, and
Yeah.
it can be a cure. Mm.
Maybe it's listening to them, maybe you have to praise them. But other times they need time for themselves. They just want to be by themselves a little bit.
Mm.
So I have a friend who is going through a angry period of life. He's very upset, very upset. And so people are asking me what to do about him. I said, just let him,
Mm.
he needs his place, he needs his time.
Mental
He
stress sometimes.
anti-vaccine, he doesn't want to vaccinate. And of course, many people are talking, yeah, you have to get to vaccinate. Some people are. So, and he's a businessman. He's working like 10 hours a day,
Mm.
and it's so much work, and
Mm.
so lots of pressures. So many
Mm.
times people just leave them by
Mm.
themselves.
They need to chill only.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
they have to choose. But from your side, what you can do is it's invisible. It's something below the line, is to send good wishes for that person, to
Mm,
not have bad feelings towards that person.
mm,
Just have good wishes for them.
mm,
I have a good friend in Chile. Her husband was killed by a captain, by someone from the army during the dictatorship. So she fled away. She took her children. She went to London without speaking English and all. And eventually, she speaks probably the most beautiful English from England, Cambridge English.
mm,
And her children, they are grown up. They are beautiful people. Everything went well. And she was telling me how one day the BBC from London, they were able to connect the person who killed her husband, and they put both of them to talk.
mm,
And she said, you know, from the first moment when that happened, I forgave the person. That forgiveness was the engine with
mm,
which she was able to move ahead and just move on with
mm,
life,
mm.
you know.
Heal herself. Yeah.
So sometimes you have to just forgive. That's it.
Right. So it's been wonderful, Marcelo, having you with us today. There's
Thank you.
so many points to reflect on and go deeper. And I think this journey that you started 37 years ago, I mean, I think knowing the self, knowing the truth, knowing God is really a very deep, like the more you know, the more you feel there is much more to know. So it's beautiful that you started your journey very early.
Well, still early. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And thank you. We had actually participants on the Arabic Zoom, and we had also other participants on YouTube. So thank you so much. And thanks to
Thank you, everyone.
everyone.
Shukram.
Shukran, shukran. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
And yeah, I just want to remind our participants that there are two actually courses happening. One is in Bahrain, starting on February 1st by Sister Awatif. And the other one is also um, from Kuwait, also starting tomorrow by Mona. So it's self-mastery and meditation, self-development. So whoever is interested, they can just register on the WhatsApp numbers that are on the flyers. And Marcelo, hope to see you after the pandemic. Hopefully you can pass by this area.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
And we'll feed you a lot of dates.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Good
Take
night.
care. Bye bye, everyone.
Good
Take care.
night. Bye-bye. Thank you, Awata, for translation as well. Bye-bye.